And we are back. Welcome to my predictions for the FA Cup 5th round. The last 16 all taking place over the next few days this week. We've got 1 game tonight, 3 games tomorrow and 4 games on Wednesday. And after what we saw last night in the Carabao Cup final, there is going to be a lot of teams believing that anything is possible in this FA Cup. Well, all but probably one, but we'll get to them shortly. But like I say, we've got 8 games in the FA Cup 5th round taking place this week. And if you do enjoy my predictions series, do let me know by dropping a like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here as well. We will, of course, have my reaction to whatever happens in the Nottingham Forest-Manchester United game this week. And then, of course, we will be bringing back the Premier League predictions once again at this weekend. Without any further ado, let's just get straight into it because we have got 1 game taking place tonight. And that game is between Coventry City and Maidstone United. Maidstone, the really true fairy tale of this FA Cup so far. The team from the 2nd division of the conference, and they're taking on a Coventry side that have not been playing very well recently. Both sides at the weekend, though, did lose pretty comfortably. Coventry lost 3-0 at home. Maidstone lost 2-0. I think possibly also at home. Could have been away. But to my understanding, Maidstone did make some changes going into this game coming up tonight. And you know what? They're definitely capable. I didn't give them a chance of beating Ipswich, as I don't think anyone did give them a chance of beating Ipswich in the last round. They did come out on top. However, Ipswich did hit the woodwork, I think it was 5 times in that game. So they rode their luck, but you have to ride your luck in the FA Cup, and that is the point of the FA Cup. It's to give these teams a chance to keep progressing and keep going. I still have to think that Coventry are going to come out on top at the end of the day, but you just don't know. I'm going to make it close. I'm going to go for 2-1 to Coventry, but I think, like most other people, we're all going to be cheering on Maidstone tonight because why not? Let's have a Conference South team make it in to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. From tonight, then, we move on to Tuesday, and the first game taking place on Tuesday is Bournemouth taking on Leicester, a Premier League tie from last season. But, of course, Bournemouth now doing well in the Premier League. Leicester high-flying at the top of the Championship. However, they did lose to Leeds at the weekend, which has narrowed the gap at the top of the Championship a little bit. The important thing to go into this one with is that in the last couple of rounds, Bournemouth have continued to play their full first team. Leicester have made full team changes. So if we're going in with that mindset, I think it makes it a little bit clearer as to who is going to win this game. Now, Leicester, obviously, like I said, were unlucky to get relegated last season. They are a very strong Premier League calibre side. And if this was first team against first team, I think it would be a very, very close affair. However, I have to look at the form, which would suggest that Leicester will make changes to their lineup and Bournemouth will continue with their strongest side. So with that said, I'm going to go for a 3-1 win to Bournemouth. I probably still would have gone for a Bournemouth win anyway. But like I say, I think it's going to be a little bit more comfortable if that's the way it goes. Second game on Tuesday night sees Blackburn Rovers taking on Newcastle United. And Newcastle will be looking to bounce back from that rather humiliating defeat to Arsenal at the weekend. Blackburn, though, are not playing the best of football themselves at the moment. They probably are lucky to be in this position in the FA Cup, to be honest with you. They've had a relatively nice run so far. And I just think Newcastle, at the end of the day, are probably going to be too strong for their Championship counterparts. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to Newcastle. But who knows? Like I say, if they play like they did against Arsenal, you just don't know. Blackburn might turn up and get the result. That then brings us to Luton Town taking on defending champions Manchester City. Obviously, as a partial Luton Town fan myself, I would really like to see Luton win this, but realistically, I just don't think it's going to happen. Luton are in a really rough run of fixtures at the moment. Manchester United, followed by Liverpool, followed by Man City in the Cup, and then next week it's away to Aston Villa in the Premier League as well. So I think given the last couple of weekends Luton have had, certainly in the Premier League itself, they're now starting to see a little gap appear in the Premier League relegation zone. And I think this is the sort of game they might just have to sort of say, right, realistically, we're going to lose to Manchester City anyway. So make a few changes, prioritise the next coming up Premier League games. So I don't think Luton will be at full strength. I think Manchester City, as we all know, are very, very ruthless. It's going to be a tough game for them. Every game at Kenilworth Road is a tough game for the opposing side. But I just think, especially given the fact that City also won there earlier on in the season, it's going to be a City win. I'm going to go for 3-1 to Manchester City. That then brings us on to Wednesday, and we finally get to talk about Chelsea. Now, I've seen this chat this morning around, the Chelsea team was still younger than the Liverpool team, even though Liverpool put out their kids. Chelsea was still an average age of 2 years younger than Liverpool. That's arguably even more embarrassing, because that means that you spent £1 billion on the best youngsters in the world, and you lost to Liverpool's academy that was free. Surely that's even worse, this whole narrative of, it's not as bad as everyone says it is because Chelsea's team was still younger than Liverpool's. No, that just means that Liverpool's academy is even better than Chelsea's youth team recruitment. So, no, I'm not buying into that for one moment. Liverpool deserved it, Chelsea fell apart, and they're coming up against a Leeds side who are absolutely full of confidence at the moment. Like I said earlier, off the back of beating Leicester at the weekend. What I think will be most hilarious is actually what I'm going to go for, and that is a 1-1 draw, which means Chelsea will have to play another game due to it being a replay. And I just don't see it happening. I think Chelsea, again, they probably should be beating Leeds, but their mentality is going to be through the floor, and I think this game is going to be coming far too soon for them to do anything about it. And like I say, with Leeds playing the way Leeds are playing, real opportunity for them to capitalise. I think Leeds could definitely win this game. I still think Chelsea should win this game, and that's why I've met in the middle and gone for a 1-1 draw, which will see a return game at Ellen Road, where, again, I'd have to favour Leeds to probably go through at the end of it. Next up, it is Nottingham Forest and Manchester United. Now, if you missed my rant at the end of the Fulham game, then basically I don't know where Manchester United stand without Rasmus Højlund up front. And let's not forget that when we played Forest a couple of months ago with Højlund in the side, we lost away at Forest anyway. So it's not a good look for us at the moment. Nottingham Forest are playing some very good football at the moment. They played well against Villa at the weekend. They went behind too easily, too quickly. Nearly pulled it all the way back before then obviously succumbing to that 4-2 defeat. So I think given the fact that I don't really see how Manchester United are going to score a goal without Højlund in the team, I would like to see wholesale changes from Erik ten Hag, but I don't think he will. So I'm just going to go for 2-0 to Nottingham Forest. I just don't see it being any other result. I think Manchester United need to produce a performance that this team simply cannot produce without Højlund and Luke Shaw and potentially Casemiro if he did go off with a concussion, meaning he won't be able to play in this game. I just don't see it happening. I think Nottingham Forest will end up coming away with the win, which will be just another disaster for Erik ten Hag. But we'll see. Obviously, I'm optimistic as a Manchester United fan, and I'm always going to believe that the side are going to win. But when I do these predictions, I have to be realistic. I'm going for 2-0 to Forest. That then brings us on to Wolves against Brighton. Two sides that performed very poorly at the weekend. Brighton really should have been beating Everton and were lucky to come away with a 1-1 draw. Wolves, bizarre game against Sheffield United where they were brilliant until they went 1-0 up and then just invited pressure for the rest of the game, and Sheffield United were arguably unlucky not to come away with a point. So really bizarre weekend for both of these sides. So with that said, again, kind of like the Chelsea-Leeds one, I'm just going to go for a 1-1 draw. I can't split them. I would think Wolves are the favourites for this, but I'm not so sure now. So 1-1 draw, replay. We'll see what happens there. And then finally, it is the Carabao Cup winners, Liverpool taking on Southampton. Southampton, as we spoke about in the last round, were 27 games unbeaten a few weeks ago. Since then, they've lost 3 out of 4. Now they're going to Anfield. 3-0 Liverpool. Don't think I need to say much more about that. Obviously, Southampton, again, on their day, could turn up and win. But this Liverpool side, off the back of last night's result, I think they can happily play the youngsters now in the belief that they can beat anyone. And unfortunately, I think Southampton are just going to end up being the victims. But we'll see. I think Liverpool take this one fairly comfortably. 3-0 is what I'm going to go for. And that is going to be it for today's video. As always, let me know all of your thoughts down in the comment section below. I think it's going to be another fascinating week of FA Cup action. Thank you very much for watching. As always, I'll see you very soon.